The MLB All-Star Game is just over a week away, and that means All-Star Game cards are coming here to MLB The Show 22. So today, I'm going to go through and predict what every team's All-Star card is going to be and look like. Of course, we have some that we know are happening because they only have one All-Star card. The new program coming on the 18th, definitely expect every team to be represented in that program. So let's dive in, talk about what type of cards we could be getting, because these are no doubt going to be some of the best cards in the entire game. Starting off here with the Orioles, we only have one representative. That is Jorge Lopez here. You can see that pitch mix, sinker, curveball, four seam, circle change, and the slider. May not have the most velo, but he does have 99 velo on this card. Maybe could we see him possibly acquire an outlier? Does have it here on his live series card. So has it on his sinkers. Outlier sinker could be coming here with Jorge Lopez. 99 on that hit spread on this live series card. This is just at a 76. You juice up this control, a little bit of hit spread on as well. I think we're going to be seeing a lot of Jorge Lopez moving forward, especially with that outlier sinker. If he can control that at all, essentially, he is going to be disgusting. On to the Red Sox. They may be in the strangest position for these All-Star Game cards. Their two All-Star representatives are Rafael Devers, who already has this Player of the Month Lightning card. We all know that one. And their other All-Star Game representative is Xander Bogaerts, who just got this 96 overall 6 series card. So since this Xander is the more recent of the two, I'm thinking that we're going to pick up another Rafael Devers card. Could look very similar to this Lightning card that we have here. Maybe just slightly boosted in that power versus left to get him up +2 overall. I'm expecting all these to be at 97. Maybe a little bit more speed, defense. I don't know exactly where they get them up. Obviously, this Devers card already insane. I'm working on a P5, and we're going to end up getting a brand new one. But I love Devers cards. So as of right now, it's between him and Xander. Could a guy like JD Martinez possibly be an All-Star Game replacement to get a card? That is definitely possible. We'll see how those shape out over the next week or so. But as of right now, I'm going with Devers. He's going to get 2 95+ diamonds. But hey, I'm here for it. On to the Yankees. They have a lot of options, but I'm going with Aaron Judge. We got that All-Star Game Aaron Judge last year. I think this gives us a nice opportunity to get that high-level Aaron Judge. As nice as this 94 card is, that 53 contact left, it pretty much makes him not usable at all for ranked seasons purposes. So getting an Aaron Judge that we can throw up there in ranked seasons, I'm going to go with that. Basically take this card, balance it out versus lefty, so he's not 53 contact versus left. Keep that fielding, the speed, everything else relatively the same. Gotta look similar to this, but again, just with some more contact versus lefties. And we have a card that is really nice. That Aaron Judge from last year All-Star Game card, in my opinion, probably one of the more underrated All-Star Game cards that we got. So I'm rocking with Judge here from the Yankees, but they definitely do have a lot of options. Nestor Cortez, Garrett Cole, Jose Trevino. Tons of options there of guys who could make it. I'm going to rock with Judge, though. On to the Tampa Bay Rays. We only have one option here. That is Shane McClanahan. Pretty basic pitch mix he's going to be rocking with. Four-seam slider, curveball, and circle change. He is going to be a lefty. We already have a lot of really solid lefty starters. I don't think he's going to be one of the better starting pitchers that we'll get here from this program. But McClanahan has had a great year so far. Definitely deserving of getting a good card. Could end up with pretty high hits per 9. If he has some of the higher hits per 9 of starting pitchers, especially from lefties, we could end up seeing him a lot. Pretty straightforward pitch mix. Not going to be anything that overwhelms or overpowers you. So I think because of that, McClanahan probably not going to be as popular, but still could be a really solid starting pitching option. On to the Jays, couple options here in Toronto as well, but I'm going to go with Alejandro Kirk. Could have been the Lightning card in this last monthly program. I think one of the reasons he didn't get that is because he's going to get this All-Star Game card here. He's going to be absolutely cracked out hitting, up that contact, up that power ever so slightly, get him some passable defense. Been a really solid fielder this year, much better than that 57 fielding shows there. Same with his 55 blocking. Give him some solid defense. Give him at least to that 80, 85 power threshold, so we can rock with that with a high contact guy. Alejandro Kirk, he's going to be pretty slow, but should be a really solid offensive catching option. Starting off with the White Sox, unfortunately, no Dylan Cease. So the only option we have here is Tim Anderson, which is no doubt going to be a really good card. That tops now Tim Anderson that we got last year from the Field of Dreams program. Definitely a very underrated card. So 97 Tim Anderson could be in the future. He's going to have really insane contact numbers. Hopefully he gets enough power to be super passable and usable at that shortstop position. Going to come in with some fielding and speed as well. Anderson could be looking like a really solid up the middle option for your team. On to the Guardians now. As much as I want to say J-Ram, that is 100% no doubt who I want it to be. I'm going to go with Andrés Giménez. I think that is the more likely option for this 97 overall card. Maybe we get a 99 overall J-Ram a little bit later down the line. Giménez, he's going to have good defense. 97 overall, though, could definitely get juiced on the offensive side of things. A nice left-handed bat as well. Second base, third base, shortstop definitely gives him some positional flexibility, too. He's probably going to be a little bit more contact-heavy, lacking ever so slightly in power to probably put him on the bottom tier of what these cards are going to look like. But still a solid option, as all of these are going to be 97 overall cards. They're all going to be nice from top to bottom. He may almost be a common in MLB The Show, but he's an all-star in real life. Gregory Soto, that is going to be our choice here for the Tigers. Mickey was a choice from the commissioner, but since neither of those players are taking up a true roster spot, I don't think they're going to utilize Mickey or Pujols in this all-star program. What I actually do see likely happening there, or hopeful I happen there, is that we get a separate program where we can earn an all-star Mickey and an all-star Pujols for their selections by the commissioner. But in terms of Soto, he is the Tigers' true all-star game representative. We had that Gregory Soto in last year's game. Personally, for me, I couldn't hit him at all. This Soto probably going to be pretty disgusting as well. He has outlier sinker here on his live series card, likely to get that on whatever all-star game card he gets. So outlier sinker coming in from a lefty, a nice arm slot. He's not going to have much control, but he's going to be absolutely filthy with the stuff. Gregory Soto, I'm not looking forward to seeing him again. On to the Royals. Our lone Royals representative here for the all-star game is Andrew Benintendi. Unfortunately, he's probably not going to end up being the best card type. Going to be high contact, lower power, kind of midfielding. Really solid player IRL this season, likely to get traded from the Royals. 97 overall, maybe, a plus 20 overall to his live series card here makes him really juiced out and they go crazy with him. But based off the archetype of his live series card, probably not going to be the best choice here. Certainly a lock of a card that we're going to get here as the Royals' only all-star game player. On to the Twins here. We have two choices, but there's one that we all want. It's Byron Buxton. That player of the month, Byron Buxton, last year was absolutely insane. Dominated lineups for quite some time. We never got that finest Buxton that so many people wanted. It's time to do my man Buxton justice with a 97. We're never going to be able to hit the ball into the outfield again because Buxton will chase everything down. But take this live series card right here and just give him contact. We have a 97 overall card that honestly could be your center fielder for the rest of the season. The other option is Luis Arias, which he's been great. There's no doubt about that. But we just one look at this live series card archetype, we can see it probably would not be the best option as a 97 overall, especially when we have a player as popular as Buxton here and the chance to get him. Give me Buxton all day long. With the Astros now, lots of choices here. We have multiple pitchers. We have Altuve. I thought about going one of the pitchers, but we have a couple guaranteed pitchers coming up here in the AL West, so I don't know if they'd want a 3-pitcher pack here. I thought about Altuve, but he already has that 93 overall player of the month card, so give me Kyle Tucker, one of the sweetest swings in the game. Tucker's one of those guys that anytime we get a Kyle Tucker card, I absolutely love him. His finest card last year was probably a top 5 all-time player for me, and it will be the show 21. So let's run it back with a 97 overall Kyle Tucker. He's going to have decent enough fielding, some speed, cracked out hitting stats, where that power is higher than the contact, that 110 power range possibly. Kyle Tucker could be absolutely insane as a 97 overall. So let's see what that Tucker looks like. Obviously, though, lots of options on the Astros. It could be JV, but probably save him. We got Altuve. Could also be Framber Valdez as well. But again, we already got a couple starters coming up. So I'm rocking with Kyle Tucker here in the AL West, starting us out for the Astros. Now, on to the Angels. This is an interesting one. No matter what, we're going to get a cracked out card here. Whoever gets it is probably going to be one of the better cards in the program. Mike Trout and Ohtani are the only choices for the Angels. Now, Ohtani is there as a pitcher and a DH, and then obviously Trout as a center fielder. What I think they're going to do is they're going to give us an Ohtani card, 97 overall, but it's not going to quite look like this. It will be similar to this Topps Now Ohtani that we got here, just juiced up a little bit. Probably slightly better fielding, slightly better hitting attributes, and a right field only Shohei Ohtani to represent his designated hitter position on the all-star team. Obviously starting at DH, give them that right field card, probably not too much fielding. They don't want to do an OP 97 two-way starting pitcher Ohtani and a 97 overall Mike Trout. That would be pretty ridiculous, but we're also in line to get that 99 at some point. Mike Trout live series is already a 95, and honestly, live series Trout, when he has inside edge, probably would end up being better than what an all-star game Trout would look like. So I'm gonna go with this right fielder Ohtani, looking very similar to this, but juiced up just a little bit, which could still be a super sick card. For the A's here, we have what could be a very, very sneaky card here. The only all-star game representative, Paul Blackburn for the A's. You look at the pitch mix, so he has the sinker cutter combo, circle change, 12-6, and a four-seamer. He's missing that slider. If he had like a slider instead of that four-seam, he would be pretty disgusting. He's gonna lack the velo, but could play pretty similarly to a guy like Dallas Keuchel. You know, if he ends up being a high control pitcher with that sinker cutter circle change pitch mix, could be a pretty solid option. Lack of velo, lack of slider, probably going to hurt him overall. He doesn't even have much control here on his live series card, but just at a 77, obviously going to be really juiced as a 97. This will be our card here for the A's, barring any replacements for players from the A's. Now, the charity selection here for the Mariners, he's their only all-star here. It is Julio Rodriguez. I know Ty France should have been an all-star. Let me rustle some Mariners fans' feathers, but since Ty France isn't an all-star, that means that we're locked and loaded here to get an absolutely insane Julio Rodriguez. Obviously, we have his live series here. I think a better representation could be taking a look here at his prospect card. Obviously, though, you take the fielding on this prospect card, you move that up to 99, give him a little bit more balanced hitting, maybe some slightly more fielding. Julio Rodriguez could end up being a really insane card. Imagine we get a Julio Rodriguez and a Byron Buxton. They're both going to have 99 speed. The ability for you to hit gappers anymore in MLB The Show may be disappearing very quickly in a week as people are running 99 speed outfields between Buxton and Julio Rodriguez. Definitely going to be an insane card. This Julio right here has been really solid. I know a lot of people like him. We balance him out a little bit, give him a little bit more contact on this card, let him be a little bit more viable on those higher difficulties with more speed. We have a really nice looking card. My man Jonah Heim was snubbed from being an all-star, and we lost our chance at, we're just going to look at him real quick. We lost our chance of getting a switch hitting catcher with elite defense and power to both sides of the plate. It's very sad to think about, but we're going to be getting a Martin Perez card instead here. He is going to have a pretty nice pitch mix. And now we see his live series pitch mix, cutter, two-seam, circle change, four-seam, curveball. He actually has a slightly different pitch mix here on his player of the month card. So this is probably a little bit more accurate of a representation of what type of card we will be getting. Sinker, circle change, cutter, 12-6, and four-seam. Similar to Paul Blackburn, he is going to lack that slider, but he's probably going to have a little bit more control, ever so slightly more velocity, and 98 hits per nine here just on this 91 overall card. I can only imagine if they juice that up to a 97. I do have this card P3, so a little bit less hits per nine on the base card, but if they juice this card up to a 97, Martin Perez could be looking at a very, very high hits per nine rating on his card, which can make him very, very viable. Another very strong left-handed pitching option. I've personally been quite a fan of this Martin Perez. I think he's pretty sneaky. A 97 overall version of him could be a card that we end up seeing quite a bit, even though it is going to lack a little bit on the velocity wise. That is probably going to hold them back overall. On to the Braves. They have a ton of options. Of course, as well, one thing I will say is that a lot of these teams are going to get multiple cards. We're not just going to get the 30 All-Star Game cards. We're also going to get All-Star Game packs based off performances in the program. So expect another 2 to 3 guys in a base round, 2 guys in a mid round, and possibly 2 guys in a rare round. So probably another 6 cards, 1 from each league coming from the All-Star Game. So a lot of the guys making the All-Star team, not mentioned, have the opportunity to get cards. I'm gonna go with Dansby Swanson here for the Braves. I think as a 97, he could be a really cracked out card. High contact, give him to that 80 power threshold, juice up his defense to be a little bit more in line with how he's playing defensively this year. Arguably should have been the starter at shortstop for the All-Star Game over Trey Turner. I think we're going to get a nice Dansby Swanson here for the Braves. We may have a new best pitcher in MLB The Show 22 coming, Sandy Alcantara. He's probably going to be filthy. We can see the pitch mix, sinker, slider, circle change, four-seam, and a curveball. And of course, we take a look right there. He does have outlier on the sinker. A lot of outlier guys gonna be popping up here now that we're at the All-Star break. 95 hits per nine here on his 84 live series card. He's gonna be low on the Ks per nine. He's probably gonna lack control a little bit as well. Could be the highest base Ks per nine we have of any pitcher in the game when Sandy gets released, just with how he's been limiting walks. And his stamina gonna be super high as well. You're gonna be able to pitch like 140 pitches with this guy with how broken stamina is in this game. He has a really sick pitch mix. Honestly, essentially the perfect pitch mix. Throw that in with the outlier sinker, super high hits per nine. Sandy is gonna be a problem for people in this game. I'm not looking forward to facing him all the time. Mets are another team with quite a few options, but I'm gonna go with Starling Marte here as the Mets All-Star Game program card. That finest Marte that we got last year, I actually really loved that card a lot. So I'm gonna rock with Marte getting a nice 97 overall card here out the gate. He's gonna be 99 stealing, maybe jump up his speed as well and his fielding. Could be a nice, really well-rounded, close to 5-tool player coming here in this program. Also, one of the absolute best swings in the game. Something about it. He absolutely destroys the ball. So if we get this Starling Marte, definitely don't sleep on him. Philly's got 2 All-Star Game representatives, but Kyle Schwarber just got his 95 monthly award card. So I think we're getting Bryce himself. 97 overall Bryce Harper could be incoming as a nice earlier pre-99 overall Bryce Harper. I love Harper cards, the finest in the MVP awards card last year. Probably top 10 cards for me between the two of them combined. Something about him, man, absolutely crushes the ball. We're gonna have so many outfield options after this new program. I have no idea what I'm gonna do with my new team. Very likely though, again, unless we get a shift, you know, maybe somebody like Wheeler or Nola filling in. We only have the 2 options. And again, Schwarber, he just got this 95. Unlikely to give him another. So it seems like we are going to be getting a nice Bryce Harper. Super looking forward to that one. I'm going to let the card art on this one itself tell you how I feel about Juan Soto and MLB The Show. He is definitively my favorite player every single year. Every single time he gets a card, I'm insane with him. And as the lone Washington Nationals representative, a 97 overall Juan Soto is coming to MLB The Show. He's going to be absolutely insane. He will be on my team. Probably the first card I'm going to snag as quickly as I can from those packs whenever we get them. This card is going to absolutely rock. Balance him out offensively. Bump him up to like 80 fielding. Doesn't even matter. I'll stick him in left field with Julio Rodriguez and Buxton in center and right. They will track down everything that they need to. It is going to be absolutely insane. I cannot wait for this Juan Soto card, assuming that there aren't any changes and somebody like Josh Bell doesn't become a replacement. We're locked and loaded for a Juan Soto, and I can't wait. On to the NL Central. I'm going with Wilson Contreras here for the Cubs. Probably been the best catcher in baseball this year, one of at minimum. Gonna have solid defense. If we can just balance him out a little bit versus righties, keep, you know, his contact versus left, power versus left, already really nice. Give him a little bit less insane splits that he has there versus righties. He's going to be looking like a sick card. Should have very, very strong hitting attributes. Could end up being one of the best offensive catchers in the game. The Reds alone All-Star Game representative is Luis Castillo. If y'all remember this Luis Castillo, his finest card from MLB The Show 20, absolutely loved that card. So I think this Luis Castillo could be really nice. Doesn't really have any quirks here on his live series card. So as of right now on this card, don't have to worry about an outlier, but I wouldn't throw it out of the question to possibly get an outlier 4-seamer. Circle change, 4-seam, sinker, slider. Pretty solid pitch mix. We know that they can adjust those pitch mixes some on different tiers of cards. So possibly a slide adjustment there, but a really solid pitch mix overall. You know, some really nice hits per 9. Possibly an outlier on that 4-seamer or the sinker as well. We could be looking at a nice dominant right-handed pitcher. We got 2 options here for the Milwaukee Brewers, but realistically, it's hard to make Josh Hader that much better than he already is on his live series card. So it may be the return of Corbin Burnes, generally considered people's favorite pitcher to use. A lot of guys loved that player of the month and that finest Burnes we had last year. The cutter, sinker, curveball, circle change, slider is an elite pitch mix. He's going to have nice control, and he has an outlier sinker here on his live series card this year. So very possible to get an outlier sinker again here for Corbin Burnes. You mix it with that cutter, the curveball, the circle change, the slider. I'm just going to be straight right now. I probably won't ever touch that Corbin Burns. You start throwing outlier sinkers at me, I don't stand a chance, especially with a guy who has pretty solid control as it is. He's probably going to have pretty high hits per 9. He's going to be pretty disgusting. On to the Pirates now. We got one representative for the Pirates. That is David Bednar. Probably not going to be that crazy overall. He's going to have pretty close to max hits per 9, most likely, but four-seam curveball splitter. It's not that good of a pitch mix. Probably going to be a bit of a mid-card overall for the Pirates and in your bullpen, but hey, you may still find a slot in the back end of your bullpen somewhere. Cardinals got a few options, but I'm gonna go with Paul Goldschmidt. A little overdue for getting an elite top tier card this season. He's been so insane. You take this card right here and you just balance him out a little bit versus righties, and we got a card that is looking absolutely sick. Paul Goldschmidt, 97 overall, could be a nice righty bat to balance out your lineup. First base, really deep position is the only downside to this, but again, we definitely are deserving of a really nice Goldschmidt with how well he's playing this year. I think we're going to get that with this All-Star Game program. One division left. The D-backs lone representative here in the All-Star Game is Joe Mantiply. He is going to be a lefty, sinker, curveball, circle change. He doesn't throw very hard. The only real positive is that he is a lefty, but I'm going to be honest, he's probably not going to be all that great. I'm sorry, D-backs fans. Kind of a rough lone All-Star Game representative. Would have loved to see a Varsho, maybe even a Ketel Marte slip in there. Zach Gallen, even though he's had some rough starts, but, you know, maybe he ends up being crazy, has some insane release point. I've never really seen his live series card or used him, so not sure what to make of him, but just looking at the pitch mix and velocity, it's probably not going to be that great. Out of the Rockies, we got CJ Cron, going to be a very strong offensive card. Another firm option at first base. A deep position, but with left field, right field secondaries. If he has enough fielding on that 97 overall All-Star Game card, he definitely could be viable at those positions and could just be at a situation where he's so strong offensively, you got to find a way to put him in your lineup. 97 overall CJ Cron. He's going to be the lone representative of the All-Star Game for the Rockies, so definitely expect him to be getting a card come next week. Lots of options for the Dodgers, but it's time for the return. Trey Turner, 97 overall. We know the Trey from last year. The 98 overall Team Affinity 3 Trey Turner, my favorite card, quite possibly in MLB The Show history. I just love that card. Let's run that back again for the vibes. That was my center fielder. My dream is this time a week and a half from now, my outfield is Byron Buxton, Trey Turner, and Julio Rodriguez. Let's make that happen. Give me 99 speed at every outfield. I'm catching every single ball that is ever hit. Dodgers, a lot of options. It could definitely end up being somebody, I'm going to say kind of boring, like Tony Gonsolin. For the vibes, give me a Trey Turner. Let's have some fun with it. Let's run it back with Trey and let's get crazy. Moving on to the Padres, Manny Machado, usually good to get like a 97, 96 overall card each year. Let's give him a 97 right now through the All-Star Game. Definitely been the best third baseman in the league so far this year. Going to be super strong offensively. You can see versus lefties, he's 100, 102 on his live series card. You balance him out versus righties. You get him with some good defense. He's got a sweet swing. First base, shortstop, secondary to go along with third base, primary. I mean, Manny Machado could be a pretty valid option on your team moving forward next week if he can get an All-Star Game card. The last team here, the Giants, have one All-Star Game representative, and that is Jock Peterson. And let's just say I am stoked for it. He may not end up being more than a bench bat, but he will be my bench bat. If we come over here, we can see this 88 Jock Peterson, currently batting 500 with him, over 97 plate appearances with a 1900 OPS. So that is how I feel about Jock Peterson. He is on my bench right now, assuming that this Jock Peterson, the 97 we get, I'm assuming that all these cards are going to be 97 overall, just based off to where we're at power creep wise in the game. Assuming that Peterson is a 97, and it probably has at least some level of solid splits versus righties and versus lefties. Jock Peterson at minimum is going to be on my bench for the rest of the season, and I can't wait. So those are my 30 predictions for All-Star Game cards here in MLB The Show 22. Y'all let me know what y'all think we're getting down in the comment section below. Who do you want to see as the All-Star Game card in the feature program for your favorite team? And as always, y'all enjoyed this video, definitely be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Until next time, I'll catch y'all around.